Welcome to the Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. What up? Welcome to the Waiver Wire, where fantasy players become fantasy legends. Fantasy football has come to an end. Thank God. Our fantasy football season was over this week. Most of y'all probably have y'all Super Bowl this week. I think going forward, I think it's what I'm gonna do too. I think I will, because I thought about it, and nobody's sitting anybody this week. Nobody's. I thought that the people would be set because we're up by so much, but there's pretty close records, and everybody's going to have to play. Everybody probably even play week 18, but making week 17 your Super Bowl also means that you miss the bye weeks while you're in the playoffs. So I had a couple of people that were in the playoffs, and they had people on bye weeks, and that's a bummer too. So I get it, and I made a mistake, and I will not do it next year. But fantasy football, we're going to leave for a second. We're going to talk about there were some big movies that came out, one of which I went to the movie theaters and saw Spider-Man in, because that's the only way you can watch it right now, is going to the movie theaters and watching it. And bro, it was like packed. Yeah. I'm sitting right next to people. There was like a line to get tickets. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I went on Sunday at like 4:00 by myself, and it was unbelievable. But
day after Christmas.
Yeah, and maybe that's what it was. Was that no wait? Was that this Sunday? No. This was last Sunday. Sunday. Not recently. The Sunday before that, and it was packed. And the Spider-Man's numbers have done great, and it's because Spider-Man is fucking awesome. The Spider-Man spoiler alerts in 3, 2, 1. They bring all the Spider-Mans back. The Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire. Marvel has just said, listen, we're going to do whatever the fuck we want, because we're going into the multiverse, and we can do whatever we want. They brought like all the bad guys from all the old Spider-Mans, Jamie Foxx, Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, and William Dafoe as the Green Goblin. They had all these guys come back into this movie, and Tom Holland had to find it. It was really good. It was for as far as a Marvel movie goes, I would say it's probably top 5 Marvel movie of all time. Oh, wow. Just because of the scene where there's 3 Spider-Mans, and they're all like, all right, we also were played by everybody, because they kept telling us, no, Andrew Garfield's not in this, Tobey Maguire's not in it, he's not in it. And then they show up, they have their little, what we think is like a cameo. Like, I thought, like, okay, they're going to be in the movie for like 5 seconds and then they're out. No, they're like in fight scenes. You got Tobey Maguire in fight scenes. Like, it was so badass, because it was like, oh my God, like, y'all really got 3 Spider-Mans like fighting together, like the meme where they're all pointing at each other, and it really was like that. It was hilarious. Spider-Man, 2 thumbs way the fuck up. It was awesome. And then a movie that we both saw, The Matrix. Did you watch it at home? Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. Yeah, man. And you tell me how much you want me to pay. You want me to pay $60 to watch it at home like a pay-per-view? I will. I'll do it. I don't want to go to the movie theaters. And I used to love going to the movie theaters, but give me the option of watching it at home, where I can fucking smoke, where I can sit and be by myself in my house all day long. And The Matrix, I actually really liked it. I think that, so you were saying that, they kind of called it out, but they really are just kind of like making a trilogy off of the other.
They kind of it almost seemed like they were making fun of it,
and they were calling out what they were doing in that little boardroom meeting. Now, my question is, from the way the third movie ends, so Neo is in possession. Like, it seems like they kill him. I think they do. They say in this Matrix that they
put him back together.
They killed him, and then they brought him back to life, because after they kill him, they're sitting there looking at this anomaly, going, "Man, this is the greatest anomaly ever." Like, they've had other Neos before. They show up in the Matrix. They come. They go to the architect. They talk to the architect. Most of them walk through the door where they wipe the Matrix out, and the people in Zion live another day. And that's been the cooperation that they've had, where they build a matrix. They can't seem to figure out, at least one of us, that they make a code wrong. That one's the one. They can see the matrix. They can change the matrix. They can do whatever they want to it. And it always makes the machines go, fuck, we got to start over. What Neo did was he went back into the Matrix and he went to save Trinity, and then him and Trinity fly all the way to where the fucking where the main machine's little hub is. They crash. Trinity gets fucking shot through the chest with a pipe, and then Neo fights Agent Smith, who's now this virus who's taking over their Matrix, and they can't beat Agent Smith, but Neo can. Okay, so that's the way the third one ends. My question is, what else? What else are you going to do? I thought the idea of what they came up with, that they put him back together, they put Trinity back together, they found that when they put them together, there was this power that was coming from them, and then they plug him back into the Matrix and have him make a game of the Matrix and try to analyze where they went wrong or how this anomaly works, and just trying to break him down. I thought it was really interesting. And it catches you off guard because you start the movie and like they're watching a different version of the first Matrix, and then you see her kind of interacting with. Then you have to wrap your brain around that she's in a game. She's watching a game that's going on, and she's watching the story of the game, and it's what helped her find where they're keeping Neo. It took me a while to understand that that's what was going on, that she wasn't watching the Matrix. She was watching a game that he had created that was the story of his life. And then they take the Morpheus out of that game, which was where Neo had made that Morpheus, and they take him out of that game. That part blew my... That part I was like, wait a minute. Who the fuck is this guy, and why are they calling him Morpheus? And it's because it was Neo's creation.
They pulled the code from the game.
Right. I watched it a second time, and it made a lot more sense to me. But even in the second time, I'm kind of okay with the fact that y'all got machines to be y'all's friends. Like, they get machines to come and be on their side and fight with them and help them create their little new world, their IO, which is their new Zion.
It's a lot like Lost in Space.
Yeah.
The end of that. And they changed the machines.
Yeah. Lost in Space was good, right?
Right?
Did you watch it?
That one,
yeah, that shit was
I had
good,
a bunch of time.
Man. Yeah.
So I started watching
Yeah, Lost in Space. Yeah, Lost in Space was awesome, and the machines at the end. That was that. Yeah. But I thought too that people hated on the action in this. They were like, oh, there wasn't very many action sequences. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I saw plenty of gunfights, plenty of fights. You know, the cool training of Neo and that Morpheus in that little dojo area, kind of fighting was cool.
I watched the whole thing. I mean, it didn't suck. I
liked it. I liked it, and it's the Matrix. You have my money. You or however I gotta watch it. You're gonna make, because I mean, Neo and Trinity now flying together at the end was like, oh, okay, well, I'm in. Oh, what? So now they're both the one. Okay, cool.
I think it was more like she's the one and he's not.
So you thought he wasn't flying? There's people that have said that she's holding his hand, and
he's like, I'm not doing this.
Well, what about at the very end though, where they're both seems like they're flying?
Yeah, she's holding him.
She's holding him. All right. I'm with it. And maybe in the next one it switches back over, or they have incredible power together. Who gives a fuck? I'm there for all of them. So I just showed him the video of, because I mean, you can watch the whole fight if you want. It's like 6 rounds, but the Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley. Whoo, boy, Jake Paul knocked him the fuck out. Sweat flies up in the air. He falls over his face first, just dead. It was unbelievable knockout. Really incredible. Jake Paul, I'm on board. I want you to keep winning. I hope you keep fighting people that don't know how to box, because if you fight a real boxer, I don't know if it's going to go down this way. You keep calling out these MMA guys, and I get it. I get what you're doing. I mean, you've got young, real power, and he's a young guy that's been working at boxing only, and some of these guys like Tyron Woodley and Ben Askren have not been. This hasn't been their craft. So now Jorge Masvidal, who you keep calling out, The dude's been bare knuckle fighting for a while. He has power. I don't know if it goes down exactly how it just did with Tyron
How
Woodley.
big's Masvidal, though?
Yeah, exactly. Great point. Masvidal is not that big. He fights at 170. Tyron Woodley fought at 170 and 185. He fought at both of those weights, but Jake Paul's about 200 pounds. So he needs to fight somebody who's about 200 pounds, which is my retired friend Anderson Silva.
Fight Silva. And
Dana White keeps saying, he's like, yeah, go ahead. Go fight Anderson Silva. And he never says his name. Jake Paul does not say Anderson Silva's name because he knows that smoke is serious. He is looking at a real fight. Anderson Silva will fuck him up. Anderson Silva knows how to box. He knows how to move. He knows how to take punches. He's gonna slip and move out of Jake's way. It's gonna drive Jake crazy. If you saw what Anderson Silva just did to Tito Ortiz, it might be very similar. And Tito Ortiz is a big guy. Tito Ortiz fought at light heavyweight. Yeah. So this is a whole different thing if he fights the Spider.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jake Paul, it was really cool. He absolutely laid him the fuck out. And people are like, oh, he's taking a fall. He took a fall for that. I'm like, if that's what happened, that did not go the way Tyron Woodley thought. Because if he was like, yeah, I'll go down at some point, and like he did not expect to go face plant into the fucking mat and be fucking
arms
out.
back.
Yeah, fucking look like he's a meme all over the place. Like they just have him laying, and him and Nate Robinson laying face side by side because and Ben Askren really he knocked Ben Askren straight down too. So Jake Paul's maybe the real deal. We gotta start putting some respect on Jake Paul's name. Steph Curry, another person that I gotta put some respect on because I think it was last week. I don't think it was this week. It was a week ago, but
all-time
three-point. And he really ruined the game in a lot of ways because now everybody fucking does it. Everybody's fucking jacking threes up all the time. But I would say his record will probably never be beat. And because we don't see people, he scores on he's like a 46% from the 3-point line or something like that. Lifetime. That's insane. 50%? And he shoots as much as he does. You don't find there are Trae Young is jacking up threes all the time. You got Damian Lillard jacking up threes all the time, and they're in the 30% tile. They're not going to get there. There's no way they're going to get there. They'd have to fucking now. I'm not saying never because now all the kids growing up nowadays, they kind of are trying to be like him. So there might be a kid out there that just works at it enough and he's just that good of a 3-point shooter and he comes out there and he does his thing. I don't know. But I don't think anybody passes Steph Curry. He's nowhere close to being done. He's going to put quite a few more on top of this. Big number up there. Maybe Clay. Clay probably has the best shot, but is he Klay Thompson anymore, or has these injuries really hadn't? I don't know if he's still the same guy. But Steph Curry, great, good for him. And it's time for me to drop the hate. I used to be a hater because of LeBron, but seems like LeBron's time has come to an end. So I got to give. I think Steph Curry is the best player in the league right now. I'm not a big Kevin Durant fan, and to see what he's done at his size and for just unbelievable that and look where the Golden State Warriors are. Yeah. They're the number 1 or number 2 behind Phoenix, and they keep stringing out wins. And if Klay Thompson and James Wiseman come back, look out. I mean, they don't even need Klay Thompson right now. Can you imagine Klay Thompson back on this team? Fuck.
Klay just coming off the bench.
Yeah. Now, and he'll definitely if he's Klay Thompson, he'll start. You'll shut your fucking mouth though. Let's see. I'll skip over that. We'll come back to that. But Hawkeye was a bit of a lame ending. It was only 6 episodes long, but these Disney Plus shows, it seems like they're hit or miss. Like Loki was really good, and I liked WandaVision, but Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Hawkeye, pretty average. And
I'm over the superhero. I did watch Shang-Chi, and that was really good.
Yeah. Well, Marvel's here to stay. So I kind of feel like, yes, it's getting a little tiresome, and they're just pumping them out at this point. But they're not going nowhere. They're just gonna keep making these movies.
Yeah, but I don't have to watch them.
No, you don't. And the shows, I would approach with caution because the Hawkeye show is not very good. But Man in the Arena is fucking good. Did you watch this last one? The Seattle? Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Richard Sherman and Vince Wilfork. And man, it's like to hear Tom Brady talk about being. I can't wait for the one today is going to be the Atlanta Falcons one. Oh my God, I cannot wait. That's going to have some inspirational shit. And there's so many moments in Man in the Arena where he says little lines that are just like, damn, like it's all about. I mean, he talks about it in this last one where just stop the bleeding. That's what it was called because he lost 2 Super Bowls to the Giants. You know,
honestly, they probably should have lost that one too.
Well, the fucking play to Javon Curse on the sidelines. They talk about it. This is the biggest. That is the biggest fluke play in the fucking history of the Super Bowl. Like Julian Edelman's was incredible. He pulled the ball off the ground. I mean, with his fingertips, he grabbed it, he yanked it back up. It was an incredible play by him. Javon Curse got a gift. He's on the ground. He's like, oh. And then he looks up and goes, oh, a ball. Like, it bounced around on his legs. Like, how the fuck does that happen? I mean, that was an unbelievable play, but I also think the Malcolm Butler play was like, they canceled each other out. The Javon Curse was, oh my God, I can't believe this is going to happen to him again. But then Malcolm Butler made an incredible play. That why they're throwing the ball, I don't know. I have no idea why they're throwing the ball. But again, you can't rewrite history. The way that this Falcon, the Super Bowl went. I can't wait for them to. And I hope Julian Edelman's on there. They haven't had Julian Edelman or Gronkowski on there yet. And
I'm waiting for Gronk, but maybe they'll save him for this last one.
He might Gronk. Well, that's a good point. Or he might be on the Rams one because he made that big catch at the end of that Rams Super Bowl where they finally because that was a defensive game where nobody fucking scored until the very end when he made the big catch. Honestly, you could put Gronk in any of these and it would make sense. He's got to be there at some point though. I'm assuming sure. Julian Edelman and Gronk have got to be there at some point. But God damn it, I love Man in the Arena. I love that it's going to be on. You know what's amazing? They're going to put all 10 of these out there, and then Josh is going to be able to slowly jerk off to them forever. I'll just be able to go through and put them on in the background and just listen and just can't wait. Love Man in the Arena. Love my Man in the Arena. Love you, my man. A lot of gay love coming your way. But yeah, I think that's did I say. Oh, UFC 269. I mean, really, the biggest things that came out. Amanda Nunes fucking lost. Unbelievable. It's hard to be champ for a long time.
I think that just became available yesterday.
Oh yeah. Oh, cool! Because I've watched it bootleg on. I'm just kidding, Dana. I'm just kidding. I never watched it on YouTube, where other pirated people put it out there. But
that was the Poirier.
Yeah, and the Poirier Oliveira. Man, the Poirier came out in that first round, and I was like, "There's no way Charles Oliveira is going to make it through this." He's fucking cracking him with some huge shots, and I think. You could argue that the way that it ended with, Charles Oliveira was on the ground and he had control over him at the end of the first round, but I really thought Poirier won the first round pretty convincingly. I thought he was going to knock him out, but Charles Oliveira is a tough motherfucker, and he came out in the next round and just weathered the storm, and his jiu-jitsu is next world. So him versus Justin Gaethje is exciting. I like that this round robin that we have in the lightweight division. We can just make Michael Chandler and Justin Gaethje and all these guys just fight for the next couple of years, and I'm down. So, but Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje's got to be next. Cody Garbrandt got knocked the fuck out at 125. His career probably over. I don't know why. I don't know why we would let anybody. Sugar Sean O'Malley, he fucking knocked this dude out. He looked amazing. He had another first round knockout, and it was at the end of the round, and he just put a barrage on it. Like once he hit him, and he kind of when he stumbled back, Sean just went to fucking town and just like. That kid is the real deal. I'm nervous to see him against one of these because we saw him against Chito Rivera, and we saw what happened there because he got beaten. That he says that he didn't, but he did get beat, and it is what it is. But yeah, good stuff. Good stuff, UFC, always. And now coming up, we got Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane. That's going to be a badass fight. But UFC, always pumping out the good. Let's see. So now we go into week 17. There are no crazy Thursday, no Thursday night football, no Saturday night football. This is all Sunday. And then a Monday night game, Cleveland
No
and Pittsburgh.
Thursday?
No Thursday. I think after the new year, and now we're getting into, and also I think the championship bowl games are here. The big bowl game. See, that's the thing is that NFL knows they have this tiny window with college football to where Saturday is not dominated by college football. So they try to sneak in a couple of games in there. It's really smart. But now, as we get into the end here and college football is coming to an end, I don't think that they're going to try to compete with the national championship playoff. So I think that's what's happened. But Houston at San Francisco, I believe that's a 13 up there or 12.
Looks like a 13.
13. So 13-point favorite for San Francisco made me say, you know what? Last week, Houston was a big underdog, and we came out and we won. I'm not saying we win this game, but I think we keep it closer than 13. Now, I hear you. San Francisco very well could come out and put a hurting on us because they do have a good defense, and they very well could smack us in the mouth.
I'll take San Francisco.
Okay, all right, I hear you. 13 was just a big number for me. It kind of made me backpedal. So I went with the home team, Houston Texans. Let's go to San Francisco and lose by 12. Atlanta, though, at Buffalo, 14.5 points is so big. And it really, I took time with this because I was like, fuck, is Buffalo going to win by 14.5 points? I just don't know. But I took Buffalo. I totally understand if you're going to tell me that Atlanta will keep it closer than that, though.
Having a hard time with that, too.
Yeah.
Buffalo should.
Yeah.
I'd take Atlanta.
Well, and if you're saying that they're just not going to lose by 14.5 points, I totally hear that. I totally hear that. Yeah, I totally hear that. But Buffalo should get this win. They need it. They desperately need it because they got to keep New England off their backs. So they need to get this win over a team that is still in the playoff hunt with Atlanta. So this should be an interesting game, probably a better game than we think. But yeah. Then Red Zone, this is your first one to keep out of my eyeballs. I do not need to see Mike Glennon versus Nick Foles with the New York Giants at the Chicago Bears. The Bears are a 6-point favorite, and I think that's fair. I think that the Giants
I'd still take the Giants and the points.
Oh, really? The Giants have absolutely looked terrible in the last couple of weeks. So, and with Jake Fromm or whoever the fuck is that they roll out there at quarterback, I don't see them being very good.
I hear you.
Again, don't show me this game. I don't want to watch it. I have no interest. Fuck out of here. The Giants at the Bears. And then the Kansas City Chiefs at the Cincinnati Bengals. Here we go. This is a great game. I'm going to take Cincinnati at home.
I'm going to take KC.
And that's what Vegas says you should do. They says they're a 5-point favorite on the road. I just, the Cincinnati team is my new team, and I like the way they've been playing. I think Kansas City. I think this is a close game. I think that Cincinnati hangs in there. I don't think they get blown out by any means. So maybe 5 is just big enough to where maybe I get this right and they don't lose by 5. But should be a really good game. Really good game. Speaking of another good game that maybe we wouldn't thought so a couple of weeks ago, but Miami's won so many in a row.
Yeah.
Miami at Tennessee. Tennessee's only a 3.5-point favorite. I'm going to take Tennessee in this. However,
Miami.
Yeah. And I almost did it because of the way Miami's been playing. I totally understand. So, but Miami. Going on the road into Tennessee, you could have bad weather in Tennessee. Derrick Henry, I don't know when he's coming back, but A.J. Brown played a lot better, so I'm going to go with Tennessee in this. But I understand that this is kind of a toss-up game. Vegas at Indianapolis. Indy is only a 9.5. Is that 9 or a 7? 4?
Like a 7.
Maybe a 4? Man, I wrote it, and I have no idea.
7.5.
Which is fair. I think they definitely beat Vegas by 7.5.
Yeah, I'll take Indy in this one.
Vegas has not impressed me by any means, and Indianapolis has impressed me. I think they're going to run the ball, and I think they're going to beat Vegas up early, and I think they win by a lot, actually. So Indianapolis also knows if Tennessee loses this game to Miami and we win, then we're another step closer, and all we got to do is worry about this Week 18 game. So they definitely they need to win out. Indianapolis knows how much they're going to win this game, but should on paper I guess it's a good game because Vegas is 8-7. Jacksonville at New England, not a good game because New England is a 15.5 point favorite. They're gonna win by 30 because Jacksonville has completely given up.
And New England's also lost 2 in a row.
Yeah, they need this. They need this. It's in New England in December. It's going to be snowy. Trevor Lawrence is going to throw picks. If you're playing in the Super Bowl and you have New England's defense, good for you because they are going to score points. I guarantee it. Then we go Tampa Bay at the New York Jets. Ew. Now, 13's a pretty big number.
Yeah, but they should do it.
But they're going to do it. Mostly because they also want to win these last 2 shitty games that they have of the Jets and the Carolina. They want to get as many wins as they can just in case Green Bay drops a game, and they want to get as high of a seed as they can. They need to get everybody back rolling too, like Antonio Brown had a much better game. Without some of these guys, like Mike Evans didn't play, and you don't have Chris Godwin or Leonard Fournette, so it's going to be all hands on deck that they got, and I think they win easily. Philly at Washington. This is an interesting game. I think that's a 3.5.
Looks like it.
3.5 point favorite Philly is on the road.
Yeah, they should cover.
I'm going to take Philly in this because Washington's played really bad. And Philly is hoping to get in the playoffs here, so they need to get another win. So, yeah, I'm going to take Philly on the road. A divisional game, though. This one gave me a little bit of maybe Washington pulls this out. And Washington's weird. Washington will come out and play great in this game, and then they'll look shitty in the next. So I don't know. But the Rams at Baltimore, this is going to be one of the best games of the week. If one of these quarterbacks shows up for Baltimore, they said Lamar Jackson might play. He might play, which they need it because they gotta
need it. Yeah,
they gotta get in. And the Rams still need to get their wins because Arizona's right behind them. So the Rams are a 3.5 point favorite. And I don't know why, but I feel like Baltimore might squeak this out. I'm gonna take Baltimore.
I'm gonna take the Rams.
Yeah. And I think it might be a close game, which 3.5 is pretty close, but I think it might be super close. I think it might be Baltimore just had a 1 point game with Green Bay 2 weeks ago, or a 2 point game or whatever it was. And, they came out and they got stomped out by Cincinnati, but they didn't have their guys. They're going to be at home. I don't know. I don't know why I'm going with Baltimore in this. I don't even like Baltimore, but I just feel like the Rams might sleep on this a little bit and might take a loss here. If they don't take a loss, maybe Baltimore keep it close. Go to mybookie.com. Believe in me. Denver at the Chargers. God damn it. Here we are again. Here we are. And you know what? The Broncos are going to win because I circled the Chargers. Because I said that the Chargers are going to win this game. Now the Broncos are going to win this game because that's what they do to me. But the Chargers are a 5.5 point favorite at home. I think they should cover this. I think they should do better than they did last week against the Houston Texans.
I'm going to take Denver, though.
Yeah, I mean, you should. You should. Just because of what I did. I'm putting it out there in the universe that if I pick you Chargers, you lose. So prove me wrong. But the Denver Broncos aren't very good, and I don't know who they're going to roll out there. It'll probably be Drew Lock with no Teddy Bridgewater. And they're just not that good. But the Chargers, up and down, who the fuck knows? Divisional game. Should be a better game because Denver has been kind of right there in it the whole year, but we'll see. Arizona at Dallas. Woo-wee! This is a good one. I hope this is on the later window so we get to see more. Yeah, I think it is. We'll get to see more of this one. Dallas is a 5.5 point favorite.
I'm gonna take Dallas.
I'm rooting for Arizona for two reasons. One, I need Dallas and the Rams to lose. I think that might have been why I rooted for Baltimore in this too. I want Tampa Bay to win. I obviously want Tampa Bay to get that number 1 seed. So I'm rooting against all of the teams. Yeah, because look, I picked Minnesota too. So I'm rooting against everybody for Tom Brady. And Arizona needs to get right. I mean, they've lost 3 in a row. They want to get back on track. They want to win. So Dallas could maybe get a little complacent this week after balling out. I'm going to go with Arizona in this, and I fully expect to be wrong, but I'm going to go with Arizona. Then we go to Carolina at New Orleans. I don't know why New Orleans is a 7-point favorite. It seems way too high for me. With 2 shitty teams, I've got to assume this is going to be low scoring and probably pretty close.
Carolina's really bad, dude.
I know they are. But so is New Orleans. New Orleans is really bad, too. Look at them last night.
Yeah, but that was with Ian Book.
Yeah. So you're saying?
I'd take New Orleans.
Okay. We'll go to mybookie.com and make some money on Cam Newton. Said nobody ever. Detroit at Seattle. Look at me. I'm wild this week. I'm going against the grain. I'm taking Detroit to go into Seattle and get this win. Seattle's a 6.5-point favorite. Seattle just lost to the Chicago fucking Bears. They do not impress me. Seattle gives up wins all the time. And Detroit's scrappy, and I think they get another win here. I'm also rooting for it because it doesn't matter. Houston won, so I don't even know what I'm rooting for. But to get Jacksonville the number 1 pick, I don't know. But I'm rooting for Detroit, and I think
Detroit and the points is the way.
Yeah, 6.5 is a little high. It's a little high for a team that's not very good in the Seattle Seahawks. And then the Sunday night game is Minnesota at Green Bay. Green Bay is a 6.5-point favorite at home, and I must have been smoking crack because I circled Minnesota here. I'm trying to explain to myself how. I guess I just want them to lose. I want them to lose so that Tampa Bay can get that number 1 seed, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I'll take Green Bay.
Yeah, I think you should. I think I was a little crazy here. 6.5 isn't that big, but Minnesota can't seem to buy a win. So I don't know how they get this done, but Josh says they're going to win. Go to mybookie.com, make some money on the Vikings, the Lions, and the Carolina Panthers. What am I talking about? Cleveland at Pittsburgh. I don't really understand Cleveland being a favorite in this on the road. I would think this would be pretty even the way that they've both played.
Pittsburgh's been that bad, man.
Yeah, Pittsburgh has been bad, but Cleveland's been pretty shitty. I mean, I know they were in that Green Bay game, but
I'm gonna take Cleveland.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm taking Pittsburgh at home on Monday night as a game that doesn't really matter to them. And they're not really going to make the playoffs, but they could ruin Cleveland's chance of making the playoffs. And I think that might be motivation enough for them to just say, fuck it, let's try to get this win. But kind of a doo-doo game for a Monday night game. Not into that. Not into that being the Monday night game. I thought they could switch games.
I think they do that on Sunday nights, but they don't seem to be doing that.
Yeah, Minnesota at Green Bay. You could have found a better one. You could have Arizona at Dallas, Miami at Tennessee, Kansas City at Cincinnati. I mean, you could have found a better game. I don't understand that Minnesota at Green Bay is your best game. But I guess it's divisional, and people believe that Minnesota's all right. I don't. But yeah. Let's see. What else did we not cover? I think we got it all.
I think so.
So week 17 coming at you. We talked about some top 50 yesterday. I'm sure that will change going in here to this next week. But we will talk more about next year's fantasy draft next week. And we will be moving away from football coming up because football will be slowing down, and these shows are going to get weird. We're gonna talk about whatever the fuck we want, and we're going to get into some conspiracy theories or something. Maybe have some guests on. Who the fuck knows? But Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. We missed you for Christmas. Hope your Christmas and Kwanzaa went well. This
Hanukkah,
is our 30th episode.
Really?
Yeah, this is episode number 30.
Wow.
Yep, we've been doing this, for years now, and we're already 30 deep.
We're pros now.
Yeah, we're on our way. We're on our way to 1,000. On our way to 1,000,000 episodes. So 1,000,000 would be a lot.
That's
wonder,
a lot.
We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. We're gonna be old men sitting here on our 1,000,000th episode, going, "Well, did you see the new movie?"
Picture film.
The new picture film is quite good. It popped up on a projection out of my arm. Peace out. We'll see you next week. Happy New Year. Fuck off.